Hi, and welcome to another episode of Unicorns to Exist. I'm your host, Vanessa. I missed recording because I didn't get to record last week since we already had one very long episode that I just put it together. So I didn't record last week. And honestly, I missed it. I felt a little off. So today's going to be one of those episodes, one of those that I kind of want to piss some people off. Not really. I want to make you think. I don't want to piss anyone off ever. And if you get pissed off, then that just shows that you need to work on it. That you've got some stuff in there that you're going to work on. That I probably hit a nerve. And that's good. That means that there's some cleaning up to do. But let's see. I have some notes here for us. Welcome back to the podcast where we have the conversations that make people uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm glad. Because they're the conversations that we need to be having. And the truth could be a little awkward sometimes. My question today is, can men and women really just be friends? Not your work friend, not your cousin, not your gay best friend. I'm talking about a straight man and a straight woman who genuinely enjoy each other's company. Can they actually just be friends? Is that a real thing? This last always goes down. Okay. Or is someone always secretly hoping for more? I know people have really strong opinions about this one because I've been asking around. If you're my friend, you know I've been asking this question for a while because I want to hear everyone's thoughts, and I get a lot of mixed thoughts. I get a very quick hell no's, and then I get some quicks, well, maybe, or some, it just depends if my girl is not jealous or not, or like, am I dating someone jealous? And to me, that's not a real answer. And honestly, I think, of course they can. But at the same time, I also think both sides are right. Because the answer isn't about men, and the answer isn't about the woman. Some people are emotionally mature enough to have beautiful, healthy, platonic friendships. Other people cannot. Just, it's not in them. Not because they're bad people, but because every act of kindness feels like flirting. Every text becomes a hope. Every coffee date becomes like a little fantasy. And that's not friendship. That's attraction wearing a friendship costume. Halloween's around the corner. I'm sure I mentioned Esther Perel before. She's a relationship therapist that I love. One of the things I love about Esther Perel's work is that she challenges us to stop asking simple questions about relationships. Instead of asking, can men and women be friends, we would probably want to ask, what makes a friendship safe? That's a better question. Because I don't think friendships of the opposite sex destroy relationships. I think the secret of this friendship is what destroys the relationship. If you have to hide your friend, if you have to hide your friendship, if you have to delete messages, lie about where you were, or hope your partner will never find out, you don't have a friendship. You have an unhealthy secret, and secrets are heavy. Here's where I stand. I have guy friends. I have girlfriends. Some of them have been in my life for years. Some of them are fairly recent, as much as some months. If I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to suddenly pretend they don't exist. But I'm also not going to hide them from my partner. My partner is welcome to meet them, come to dinner, join the barbecue, hang out together. Because now I can proudly say I have a group of friends. And we always get together. We always watch the games. And if and when I do have a partner, they are more than welcome to join us. Because healthy friendships don't hide from healthy relationships. They're allowed to exist in the same room. They're allowed to hang out and meet. And I think somewhere along the way, we started to confuse boundaries with control. Just because I have a partner doesn't mean they're going to control who my friends are. But I will have the respect, and there will be boundaries in place. Those are two completely different things. Because boundaries on when and where I meet these set friends with my partner are important because they build trust. Control destroys it. So what a healthy friendship would actually look like to me and Esther Perel. Why some people simply can't have platonic friendships, especially men. Why some people can, some people can't. And why chasing someone else's relationship will never create the relationship you're actually looking for. Like I said, yes, men and women can absolutely be friends. However, if your friendship has to stay hidden from your partner, that's not a friendship. That's a secret. And it all goes back to you. Can you handle a platonic relationship? Not everyone can. Some people sexualize everything. Some people mistake kindness with flirting. Some people keep backups. Some people stay friends hoping that you'll break up soon so they can be next in line. Those aren't friends. When I start dating someone, I immediately want them to meet my friends. I immediately want my sisters to meet them. I had that really bad habit. Now I'm a little more reserved. Then again, I don't really date that much people. But yes, I immediately want them to meet my family, meet my sisters, meet my friends, because I have cool friends. And I want also their genuine opinion right off the bat. Like, hey, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? Like, tell me. And I feel like that's how I kind of like how it should be, especially if it's like a healthy relationship. And most importantly, because I have nothing to hide. I don't have to delete messages, change names, or not tell my partner where I've really been. That's no longer a friendship. That's emotional dishonesty. And in a relationship, I think that's pretty close to cheating. But that's a different topic. Tony Robbins often says that the quality of your life determines the quality of your relationships. And lasting relationships are built on trust, shared values, and clear expectations, not assumptions. Love isn't built on controlling each other. Love is built on creating agreements. If my partner says, I really like to meet your friends, great. Let's do dinner. That is transparency, and transparency builds trust. Secrets destroy it. It's the opposite. And me, as let's say I have a partner, and let's say I'm dating someone and they have friends that are girls. I don't think I've ever said, no, you can't, I don't like that friend, or that can't be your friend, or you shouldn't be their friend. I'm not gonna monitor who you talk to, who you don't talk to. I would expect the same courtesy when I say, I want to meet your friends, as when you say, I want to meet your friends, I expect the same thing from you in return, in my relationship. And based on meeting the friends, I can decide, okay, I can tell whether or not it's just a friend or if they have different intentions or feelings. But I'm never going to tell you can't be their friend. That's up to you. You're going to choose whether you want to be their friend or not. And based on your choice, I get to choose whether I want to stay in that relationship or not. Because you can never control anyone. You shouldn't. That is not the way to a healthy relationship. But I also want to say something that might sting a little. Just because someone is an amazing husband to his wife doesn't automatically mean he'd be an amazing husband to you. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Ariana Grande finally broke up with SpongeBob. I don't know his name, but I call him SpongeBob. The guy from Wicked, and is on to someone else now. But she has a pattern. And we see this pattern a lot in celebrity culture all the time. People become fascinated with someone who's already in what appears to be a healthy relationship. And they think, oh, if I had that partner, then I'd be happy. And I'd have a happy life. But you're not actually seeing the relationship. You're seeing the version those two people created together. A relationship, it's not one-sided. If a man shows up a certain way for his wife, it's because the wife brings it out of them. It's because their partner brings it out of them. A lot of women see that and think, oh, he would be like that with me. However, if you are not the healthy person in the relationship, if you are not healed, or if you're the toxic one, that man can leave his wife, go with you, and now you have a toxic relationship because it's you bringing different energy into that relationship. This is where Esther Perel would agree. Relationships are co-created relationships. You don't fall in love with someone's personality alone. You fall in love with the chemistry the two of you create together. I bring out the best in you, you bring out the best in me. That makes it a beautiful relationship. People seeing it outside, they're going to bring something different to the table. They're just going to create a whole different relationship. Could it be better? Yeah, it could be. But it could also be worse. It would never be the same. So to my ladies, stop looking at healthy relationships and think, I need her man. No, you need her standards. You need her communication. You need her healing. You need her emotional intelligence. Because if you take a healthy man and pair him with someone who hasn't healed or is toxic, the relationship will become toxic too. Healthy people don't magically heal unhealthy dynamics. One healthy person is not automatically going to create a healthy relationship with someone who hasn't done the work. Relationships are ecosystems. Every little relationship has its own little ecosystem. Both people create the environment for that relationship to flourish, to look and be beautiful. Women will look at her man and idolize him and think like their relationship is so beautiful because of him. And yes, he has part in it, but that's only 50% of the relationship. The other 50% of the beauty comes from her. And together is what that relationship looks so beautiful and amazing and desirable from others. And that made me, at that time when I was younger, it made me realize not to like, because it said something like, don't look at my relationship wanting it. Look at my relationship at what is possible for you to create. You, with your person, will create that beautiful relationship. Mine, maybe my person and you together would probably like, kill each other. Who knows? But you need to find what he is to me and what I am to him for you. And that is part of the beauty of finding your person. Because with you, they're going to be completely different. With you, it's going to look magical and beautiful, and the chemistry is going to be there. That's not with everybody. So I learned not to look at other relationships and like codiciarlas, or kind of like, I learned not to look at other people's relationship and think like, oh, I could be in that relationship, because I could not. He would not be like that with me. They would not treat me the way they treat them, because I'm not going to bring or do the things that that the person does for them. And I remember seeing this other couple too. They were like older couple, en español. I think they were from Colombia. They were old. The wife was so sweet and the husband was so sweet, and she loved all the little things he did for her. And I would think like, oh my God, that's so crazy that they found each other, because they're so weird to me. That couple was so weird to me, but they loved each other so much. Like, they were perfectly weird for each other. And I was like, that is a perfect example of how he would probably never be like that with anybody else, and she would never be like that with anybody else. They found each other and they're perfect for each other. And the relationship itself is beautiful and sweet, and they're like, oh, everybody thinks they're so dreamy. They're married for like 50 years. But they do things that I'd be like, no, get away. Get away from me. And I think Ariana Grande has that issue with married men. They're not happy with themselves, so they see, oh, he's happy, she's happy. He makes her happy, and she's saying how happy she is. Well, maybe that's what I need to make myself happy, and that's not the solution. It's never, ever, ever outside of you. It's always inside of you. But yes, let's bring it back to the friendship part. Like I said, for me, I have a lot of friends, and I've made so many more friends these couple of years, that if I date someone and they have an issue with my friends, they were here before that person. They're not going anywhere. Especially some of these friends have showed up for me in so many ways. And I genuinely love our little group friend that I infiltrated, thanks to my sister, that they're not going anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. But here's the difference. You're more than welcome to come hang out with us, like I said. You're more than welcome to meet every single one of them. Every birthday party, every birthday dinner, my friends will know that if they invite me, I'm in a relationship. Most likely my partner will come. My partner will also be invited. If he's busy or he can't come, or they are busy and they can't come, then I'm still going to go because they're my friends. But the invitation will be there. But the invitation's going to be there. The transparency will be there. The opportunity to join us will be there. It's up to you if you want to come or not. I'm still going. Because just like my friends are not secrets. He's not a secret. If they say I can't, but let's say after all that, they still say, well, my girl's friends don't have guy friends, or you can't have male friends. Then I'd be like, then I'm not going to be your girlfriend. Sorry. You need to go figure out why that is, why you have issues with that. Heal that on your own, and then come back around, because I'm not available for that. In my life, men have friends that are girls. Girls have friends that are guys. I mean, I would ask, is that because I've given you a reason not to trust me? And if the answer is no, then that makes it a personal issue. Or they say, oh, you don't love me enough. It's not that I don't love you or not. Love has nothing to do with trust. Love is one thing. Trust is another. You can have love and not have trust. That sucks. It's a very, very bad combination. And you can have trust and not have love, but the love will grow because the trust and respect is there. And if I didn't give you anything to not trust me for, that means someone else in the past has given you reasons not to trust, and that's something you have to heal. Not every girlfriend is the same. Not every girl is the same. And those are two different conversations that I would have with my partner. If they have an issue with friends. We're going to have a talk. We're going to figure it out. But my friends are my friends. Your friends are your friends. I don't expect your friends for you to absolutely not have any girlfriends after meeting me. I would never, ever, ever say you cannot have friends. You cannot have friends that are girls who have been here before me. I would even go as far as like, you're friends with your ex? Cool. Tell me about it. I want to be friends with her. Let's all hang out. Because it's not a secret, right? And you guys are friends. Nothing to hide. I'm totally okay with it. As long as I also get to meet them. And then I decide. And if I can't trust you with your friend, then you're not meant for me. If I cannot trust my partner with his friends, or friends that are girls, or vice versa, then I probably shouldn't be in that relationship. Because if someone can steal your partner, they didn't steal your relationship. They showed you what the flaws were. They just exposed it. They opened it up. And I've been cheated on so many times. And I still believe that. Because if they cheated or whatever happened, it's not on me. It's on them. That just shows who you are as a person. And you did me a favor by letting me see. Thank you. But I still believe that men and women can be friends. Healthy relationships do not require you to be checking every phone, looking at every phone call, going through the phone statements or the bills. That is not healthy. That is tiring, exhausting. Just thinking about it makes my brain hurt. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I love hot yoga. And when I stop going and then I go back, it takes so much for my body to like get used to the heat. So I always get like a little bit of a migraine after. The first time I went back after not going for 3 months, I had a horrible headache. The next week, a little less of a headache. Today, it's slightly there, but I'm hydrating. I'm eating better, all that good stuff. But it's like I said, it's not just physically challenging, it's mentally challenging, and then it's what happens after, because your body's still flushing out all the toxins 24 hours later. Anyway, that was a little rant. Side note of my hot yoga. Oh, but it feels so good. I'm just glad I got to go back. Changing my recording days and moving things around really, really, really made the difference. So, okay, what was I talking about? I've been cheated on many times. And I'm okay with it. Because they didn't cheat on me because there's something wrong with me. Or maybe there was something wrong with me. And I had to learn a lesson. So either way, I'm glad they did it. At the end of the day, I believe in love. At the end of the day, I believe that my partner that I trust, respect, and will love, trust, and respect me back is out there for me. And I'm not letting all these other past experiences take that. I'm going to show how old I am, but Boy Meets World. I mean, you ever saw Boy Meets World? Topanga, and I love Topanga. She's so beautiful. I should have known I was gay back then, but hey, Topanga. There was one time where it was her boyfriend and her, and they had a third friend, a guy. And something comes up where the guy is like jealous or like, oh, he might be cheating on me or whatever. The friend just started having a girlfriend, and he said he was trying to like navigate how not to be jealous or how not to assume things of his friend who has been his friend for years, like since they were little. And so Topanga tells him like, no, like, the trust between us is so strong that even though they were laying in bed, they were hugging each other. If what's his name, the boyfriend, walked in, he wouldn't trip, he wouldn't say anything, he would just be like, oh, here you guys are. And literally that happened. Like they're talking and they're like resolving their issues, they're like genuine friends. And the love that Topanga and her boyfriend have for each other, the trust and respect that they have for each other, him seeing her hug him did nothing. Not because he's stupid or not because he's naive, because that's not the level of trust that he has for his girl and for his friend. Not just a girl, his friend deserves that same trust. It's the trust that they've created over time. That's the type of connection and relationship that I want in my life. Because I know I will honor it to that level of respect. And that's what I expect in return. So when people say, oh, you didn't think twice when they did this, you didn't think twice when they said that, oh, wasn't it weird? That wasn't a red flag? And I said, no. And maybe it should have been. Maybe it should have been a red flag. But I didn't do any of these things for it to forever to think that kind of thing. Not until I literally have to, like, you have to spell it out for me to think, like, huh, maybe they're cheating. You have to spell it out for me. That's how much trust I have for my partners. But and I don't think that my next partner deserves any less trust than that. My next partner deserves the same amount of trust that I've given everybody. Until they damage it or they do something about it, they lose the trust. Then that's different. I'm not gonna stop being me or jaded. That's the level of trust that a relationship deserves. If you ask me, that's what I think. My mom and dad had compadres and comadres and come around all the time. My dad always trusted my mom wholeheartedly. Everyone trusted my mom. My mom knew that my mom is the kind of lady that you know her and you know what she stands for. You know what kind of woman she is. Like, no one would ever question her loyalty and respect to my dad. So, in conclusion, no one can steal your partner. They leave on their own. If they left, it's because they chose to. No one steals anyone's man or woman. Healthy relationships aren't built on surveillance. They're built on character. And the person you become determines the relationship you create. So yes, today's conversation was never really about whether men and women can be friends. I believe they can. I know they can. I've seen it. I have friends. It was more about trust. It was about boundaries and emotional maturity. Because at the end of the day, healthy relationships aren't built by controlling who your partner can talk to or cannot. I also want to say something to my ladies out there. If you find yourself looking at another woman's man or husband, for example, or relationship, and think, I wish I had her man, stop for a second and think why you admire that man. Because you might not really be admiring the man. You might be admiring the relationship that they created together. And that is two different things. You don't know what she's done to help create the relationship. You don't know how much she's put up with for that relationship to work. You may not put up with those things. You don't know how she communicates. You don't know how he communicates. You don't know what they've had to heal from together. We've never seen those hard conversations between them two. The ones where they almost break up, but they find their way back. A healthy relationship, it doesn't take one person. It takes two people choosing each other over and over again. And here's something I truly believe. If someone is loyal because they're locked in a cage, that's not loyalty. That's a trap. They're just trapped and they can't choose otherwise. Real loyalty happens when someone has freedom and still chooses you. That's love. So instead of asking, how can I find a man like that? Or instead of thinking, how can I have their relationship? Ask yourself, who do I need to become to create the relationship I want? Actually, the best question is, who do I truly want in my life? Who do I have to become to attract the relationship I want? Get clear on what you want. The healthier you get, the healthier your relationship is going to get. Heal your insecurities. Learn communication, set boundaries, take responsibility. Become someone who brings peace instead of chaos. Because no matter how emotionally healthy one person is, if the other person brings unsolved trauma, manipulation, dishonesty, or constant drama into the relationship, that relationship will eventually reflect all those words. Manipulation, dishonesty, drama. The relationship will reveal not what one person has, but what both of them bring to the table. So don't go looking for a unicorn. Be the unicorn. But don't go looking for that special person that is healed and happy and loving and emotionally available and ready to take care of you. Become that person. Become that person who is healthy, knows how to communicate, is ready to take care of someone else emotionally. Or not necessarily take care of, but ready to show up for them, ready to love them the way you want to be loved. You know, be who you want to attract. So yes, be that rare person. Be that little unicorn out there. Do the work. Unicorns don't exist because they're perfect. Unicorns exist because they're rare. And healthy relationships are rare too. Not because they're impossible, but because they require two people who are willing to grow. So be the unicorn. Be honest, be loyal, be transparent. Do the work. And never settle for a relationship that requires secrets instead of trust. Because love never makes you hide. Love should make you feel safe enough to be seen. And remember that unicorns do exist. You, my love, are listening to one.